Well, okay, I have to point out another part since, we're both like tacitly in the book industry. And I thought of this when you said one of her books, her previous books were very funny. There's a few times I laughed out loud with this one too, but this is probably my favorite part. So she they take a break from college, so she goes back to London and she's like back in the literary world. And
Somebody's book party.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've been in the book industry for about 13 years now, but I was like in Virginia and then now I'm in Nashville. And I would only get these like dips into it when I'd go to New York for business and I'd end up at some book party or something. And I was always just like, you guys live in a completely different world than me. Anyway, when I read this, I was like, wait, this was written in the 1930s, not, 9 months ago, right? Right. So yeah, she's at this book party. It's all like literary people there. Um, the room in which it was held was exceedingly hot and crowded, and all the assembled authors were discussing A, publishers, B, agents, C, their own sales, D, other people's sales, and E, the extraordinary behavior of the book of the moment selectors in awarding their crown to blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, oh my God, that's the 5 exact things everybody still is fucking talking about 90
And
years
isn't
later.
there some moment when she's like, no one had read the book, of course. They just had formed opinions about it.
Of course. Yeah. I think I underlined another part. Oh, this part, just as a writer, she meets somebody she hasn't seen in a long time. He says a bunch of shit, and then he goes, "Are you writing any more books?" And she said, suppressing the rage that this question always rouses in a professional writer, Harriet admitted that she was.
That's that's every day. That's every day, What the heck, that's every time my mother calls me at 5 o'clock and says, what'd you do today? And I'm like, the same thing I do every day. I held my laptop and sometimes I typed words into it and sometimes I tried not to, I worked. Like, what do you think I did? I don't know.
Yeah, right when I was starting my current novel, I was like a week, we did this long preparation to get me ready to write it. And I was about a week away and I went out to dinner with a friend of mine. I was telling him about it. He goes, well, how long you think it'll take you to write it? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like 3 months, 3 years? Like, I have no idea. I'm going to sit down every morning at 5:30 and I'm going to type a certain amount of words. And when it's 6:30, I'll get up and get ready for work. It's like, that is how my day will go. Some days it'll be 200 words. Some days it'll be 1,200. And most days it'll be probably about 500 words, and it's just like, I don't know. And I don't know how many of those words I'll keep, but when I read that part about the book party, I was roaring. I was like, oh my God, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why the book of the moment shouldn't be the book, and why their book is better, and what the reasons were. Really, they picked him because
the subtle jealousy in like every statement.
There's just that. Yeah, the book party scene is just a joy.
Yeah, sure. That's a word for it.